So today we're going to be looking at how to discover devices on a network. What we're looking at is we have connected our device to a network. Either we have a valid IP address and the device that we're looking for doesn't, or we just don't know the IP address of it, or there's no DHCP, we don't know the network range of what we're looking for and we want to find one. And lastly, we're connecting for penetration testing reasons and we want to remain silent and not appear in the DHCP logs. So we want to manually assign ourselves an IP address that's not going to cause a conflict. So we can already see what my IP address is here, and we're going to quickly launch Wireshark and have a look at what we can see on the network at the moment. So the way that the tool that we're going to use, which is NetDiscover, works is by looking at ARP packets, which is what we're going to look for. So we'll do an arp.proto, that'll be fine. And you see at the moment I haven't seen any packets, but we will see ARP packets come up in here. Here we go. So what we've got is devices looking for, what they're doing is they're trying to find what MAC address a device has. Address Resolution Protocol is what ARP stands for. So these requests is what NetDiscover looks for, and it also sends out requests to find out whose that IP address is. So if we look at NetDiscover --help, you can see here our options, and we get the range, passive mode, which is what we're going to start with, being nice and silent like what we did with Wireshark. And we'll go through some more options that we use later on. So we obviously need to have elevated permissions because we need to do promiscuous monitoring. So sudo NetDiscover, we're going to use the Etho device and we want to do it passively. So while that's scanning, we'll just snap that to the side. We'll open up another terminal and I'll bring that on this side. So while that's running, what we're going to do is, just so that you can remember, see that our IP address is 192.168.0.1. Now, if I tried to ping any of those devices that we know exist, they won't be able to respond because our IP address, our range isn't correct. So what we're going to do is cancel this. This is my network, I don't care about being silent. So if I waited long enough, I'd get most, if not all of the devices on this network will end up showing up here. Now what I'm going to do is something a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to ask it to scan that entire range, 10.2.100 0/24, and it's going to scan that entire subnet. It requested every single device and asked for a response as to, are you there, what's your MAC address, so on. And this is what it's come back with. So we've got a mix of everything on this network. Some of these devices are fake, some of them are real, but that's beside the point. So you can see here is the amount of packets it's received. It's received one packet. Now this computer, even though I've got these packets, this has been all passive. It hasn't added it to the ARP cache for my operating system. So if I come in here and I say I want to ping 10.2.125, which you see at the moment it's got one response that it's seen. I've got to set my IP address correct. So obviously we want to find one that's not used, and it looks like 130 is not used. So we'll go sudo if config 10.2.130, didn't I say? Yep. That would be because I didn't put Etho in there. That's done. We can check that. We're all happy. We'll ping it, and you can see that the responses come through, and we've also had the extra ARP request. Same with that Hewlett-Packard. If I ping that, you can see that straight away we've got a second ARP packet that's been sent. If I tried to ping this again, you'll see that there's no extra ARP packet requested. Same with the 25. It hasn't requested again. It will after time, but that's the reason that passive takes a long time to fill in all of the devices. Now this doesn't always capture everything. So we've got 20 hosts and a lot of them hit once. some devices don't respond every time. The packets might get lost because you might be on an unreliable network. So that's where you can add some more options. So we'll go back to the help and run through them. What we're looking at here is time between each request. So that slows it down. Some devices will think you're flooding, and as a result ignore you or block you. So we could slow it down to reduce the chance of that happening. And then the other thing we want is the count, how many times we want to scan this network. So we're going to add both of those options in. We're going to slow it down to 5 milliseconds for each device, and we are going to do a count of 3. So what it's going to do now is scan the entire network 3 times. And you already see that this is different. I've now got 21 hosts. And you'll see here that I only got a response from twice. And here, I only got a response twice. So if I scanned this 2 times, I would have still got them. But if I scanned this only once, there's a good chance I would have missed one or both of those. So if you're wanting to be thorough, you should put a count in greater than 1. Realistically, 3 is the minimum count you should be using if you want to reliably find every device on the network. Now, there's another reason to use this, and that's that you've got something lost on the network. So we know these are all in the valid range. What about something that isn't? So let's just say something was configured as 10.2.0. We'd see it come up here if it did. So we're still going to get passive responses, but it's scanning, it's finished, it's found nothing. Some other ranges that are popular. So let's just say that we try, is there any unconfigured devices or misconfigured devices in, we'll do 16. Anything in the 192.168 range. We're not going to throttle it. We will count, we'll leave the count on 3 and go. So now this is scanning the entire, and we've got a hit. There's at least one device on this network which has not been configured properly. There's another one. So we've got at least 2 devices, yep, only 2. We've got at least 2 devices on this network which have not been configured or configured properly. So this is a great way of finding, such as this, a rogue device on the network, a device which has not been configured, a device that you don't know the IP address of, or any of the above. And so we're slowly going through the whole range. So well, we could let this finish, but we won't, because I'm going to show you the next component. If you are a little bit lazier and you put, say, nothing in here, what this is going to default is scanning, and it's going to scan things as fast as it can on every single range that's considered LAN, that's been reserved for local area networks. So this is going to slowly walk through all of the ranges, the 192s, the 172s, and the whole lot. So this will obviously take a long time to scan, and is generally not how you want to use this program, but the option's always there. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, give it a thumbs down, and preferably why you didn't like it, so that I can work on that in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. If you got a request of something you want done a bit quicker, leave it in the video below and I'll work on that program straight away.